listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith. Johnson.
The AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AFTERBUZZ TV's Survivor After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Survivor After Show.
What up? Bing is for doing. We're here doing another after show for season 25, episode 2 of Survivor, entitled Don't Be Blinded by the Headlights. I love that title. I'm your host, AJ Gibson, joined by my co-host, Ryan Allen Carrillo. What's up, Ryan?
How you doing?
And back this week after his 1 week hiatus, Justin Whelchel. How you doing?
Good. Glad to be back. Excited to talk about Survivor, clearly.
Obviously, you guys should see. We want to talk about this later, but you should see him when we watch these episodes. He's a fanatic.
He's like at a football game screaming, like, when they make a touchdown.
We should almost watch. I think we should watch the episodes in here and just record that.
That's probably a good idea. That's probably a good idea.
Yeah, we're missing Christina Cha tonight. She is out. It's her birthday. Happy birthday, Christina. We miss you.
Happy birthday.
We love you. Yes, happy birthday. We've got an exciting guest calling in shortly as well. Fan favorite Russell Hantz will be calling in a few minutes.
Troublemaker.
Yeah. So I know Justin's excited. Justin's never met the guy.
Never met him.
So you get to talk to him at least.
Excellent.
Baby steps. All right.
One day at a time.
One day at a time. Thank you guys for helping out.
The last time I was out with Russell Hantz, I believe I was slightly inebriated and drinking bottles of water so I could try to stand up again.
Oh.
He's a fun time.
I don't think I'm allowed to say what happened to me the last time I saw him.
Moving on. So, this second episode picks up where the last one left off and starts to delve into something that's kind of key in Survivor, and there have been a lot of them throughout the history of this show, and that is relationships.
Right.
We see very quickly that Malcolm and Angie are starting to canoodle a bit, I guess.
Which I would canoodle with Malcolm in 2 licks.
And if I were a guy, if I were a straight guy, I would totally canoodle with Angie if I were a guy.
Right.
I am.
She has those titties.
She's pretty.
Yeah, she's hot.
She's dumb as can be, but she's pretty.
We'll get to her dumbness later, but she is amazing.
Well, I love how Roxy, right out the gate, Roxy calls it out, and she's like, he's booty blinded.
Is part of it jealousy? That's a big question, though.
Yeah, a little bit. Of course it is.
Right.
Yeah.
Pretty blonde girl with big but she said she was booty blinded, not booby blinded.
Right.
I don't think it has anything to do with her booty. It's the boobies.
It's the boobies.
It's the fake boobs.
It's always about the boobies.
They're like really, really, really big.
Yeah.
Huge.
Like life preserver big.
Right.
What
Yeah.
do you guys think about these two? Do you think it's an actual legit thing, or do you think they're just...
I think it's out of convenience. I think that Malcolm is just doing it to kind of, she's cute, stay warm at night, she's attractive, but it's also a vote in his pocket. I think we saw last week in the premiere that Malcolm is going to play this game very strategically, making that alliance with Denise already, and it's a vote in his pocket. So now in a tribe of 4 people, he's got an alliance of 3. So I think it's strategic on Malcolm's part.
I think Malcolm is not the brightest player, so I wouldn't say it's strategic, at least my opinion, because I think he's just blinded by her and how pretty she is. But it's so lonely on these shows. Like they only show 43 minutes over a week, but you literally are just like sitting there like nothing to do. It hasn't stopped raining since they got there. It is cold. Yeah. So I really think it is legit that they are cuddling. But outside of this, they probably would have hooked up too.
This is what I love about hosting a show with Ryan. Justin and I, this is our second show together. Ryan and I have known each other for so many years. He knows exactly what I'm thinking. That's exactly what I was going to say. I don't think he's smart enough to. I think they're just dumb kids, and they're cold, and they have a crush on each other, and they're not smart enough to think this is a game. How is this going to look to everybody else? I don't think because if you look when we get to the tribal council later, the way the two of them try to defend some of their comments, they're just kind of idiots.
They hadn't thought it through at all. Like, there's no okay, we might get brought up on charges. I probably should have a really good answer just to squash it. But they were just like.
They're definitely like coming off of the summer and watching Big Brother and watching Dan on Big Brother, how genius he is and how he manipulates these characters, or even past seasons of Survivor. God knows Parvati could do it, and Russell Hantz and some of the greats. these kids don't seem like they have any game plan.
Well, I do have to say about Malcolm in terms of his tribe, when you do have only 5 people left on your tribe already in the beginning of the game, there's not a lot of people to talk to, not a lot of people to make friends with. He's not relating to Roxy. He's not relating to Russell. Clearly, he's going to be spending the time with Denise and Angie, and more time with Angie because it's Angie. You know?
Right.
It is interesting.
There's only 4 people now in that tribe.
Yeah.
The final 4 in week 2.
And Russell already has an immunity idol, correct? Did he find it?
No, he did
Who
not.
found the original one? Was it? Who found it in
Someone
the week
found
one?
it last week.
He just found the clue. Oh. He didn't. Russell did not find the idol last week. He just found the clue to the idol.
Well, speaking of does that say on the line? Do we got Russell? Speaking of Russells, we got another Russell on the line. Is this Russell Hantz?
Hello, Russell.
Do we have?
I never not found a clue and not found a clue at the same time.
Wrong Russell.
You must be
Wrong Russell. How you doing, buddy? This is AJ. How are you?
Russell.
Say it again.
How you doing, Russell? It's AJ.
I'm good. Living the dream.
I miss you. I haven't seen you in a while.
Really?
Yeah. When are you going to be back out to LA?
Let me think. I don't know.
I think you're still drunk from this weekend in Vegas.
Holy crap, that was a little much.
I mean,
that was the craziest. I mean, dude, I came home and I slept for 2 days easy.
For those of you who
And I
don't
was
know,
like, and I made myself sleep. I was like, I'm not even getting up.
well, for our viewers and listeners who don't know,
food.
you're talking about Vegas Bash. Vegas Bash just went on this weekend. It's a big reality convention in Vegas every year, and Russell was there. I missed it this year. I missed you. I remember I was just telling the story about how last year, how you got my sister and I so drunk on tequila that I could barely make it home that night. But I want to thank you for that. Yeah, it was definitely
me. All brothers blame me for sister problems.
Well, I mean, there's more to that story. We'll get into that now. No, but what do you think? What do you think about tonight's episode, and what do you think about the season so far?
I think it's kind of it's kind of slow right now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you got the players that they try to make big names, like the girl from Facts of Life, which is boring. Jeff Kent, which is a fan of mine. Trust me. I used to be a big sports memorabilia kind of guy.
Yeah.
I waited in line for 6 hours for his autograph before.
Wow.
Now you're gonna wait for mine.
I love you. I love how humble you are, Russell.
No, it's like so I'm a big fan of Jeff's, but it's kind of
Yeah,
what personalities do you see right now? What do you see coming out?
There's not a lot really jumping out at me just yet.
I think it's funny how aggressive a lot of these players are.
Maybe something's gonna come out. Today Russell, he has his little speech. I'm like, why did you just do that? Because nobody likes speeches when they're wore out.
Yeah.
You've never seen me give speeches.
Oh, you're too busy dumping everybody's water.
Stabbing them in the back.
Burning their
I'm
socks.
too busy playing the game to try to motivate these dumb motherfuckers that I'm trying to beat.
Fair enough.
And don't you think, like, watching the episode, like, playing the game, like, I feel like none of these players are playing the game, as you called it. Like, they literally are, if there's something, they're too vocal about things too quick. They need to back up a little bit.
Dude, it makes me sick to my. The only reason I'm watching it is because I know that I have to talk to y'all. so I'm like, okay, I have to watch it because I have to know a little bit that's going on. But it makes me sick to my stomach watching them because I'm like, what are they trying to do? First of all, everybody looks for an idol. Why do you think they're looking for an idol? Of course, because of me.
Yeah.
Right.
Did I invent looking for an idol? No, you're supposed to. I was like, you should do that because we ain't got nothing else to do. So let's look for an idol.
It really did change the game. I remember watching your very first season when you found the idol without the clue for the first time, and then you did it again. Yeah. I mean, I remember screaming at the TV. This is before I ever knew you, obviously, but I remember just screaming at the TV like, "Oh my God, why did nobody ever think about this in the last 20 seasons? Genius!"
Yeah.
And now they do it every season.
When I was finding them, I was just as excited as the people watching.
Yeah.
When I was finding them, I was like, I can't believe this is happening. Like I was like, thought that this was my time.
Yeah.
The first time.
Yeah.
It was just.
So did I.
I was like, this is meant to be. There's no way I can lose this game.
A lot of us thought that, Russell.
you know.
Russell,
But it
who
really
do you
didn't happen like that.
who do you see as
Who
the
won
front?
that season?
Yeah, I know exactly. Not you.
Yeah, not you. Who do you
Not
see
me.
as the front runners of this season, Russell? In your mind, who do you like in terms of going far and possibly taking the title in the end?
Man, that's a really tough question at this point.
Yeah, and if you already know the answer, if you know who wins,
geez,
don't tell us.
question.
Yeah, no. No, that's really tough at this point because I don't see anybody stepping up right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I see Russell trying to motivate his team, but they keep losing because of his weak ass team.
Yeah.
Right.
What
So-
about Penner in terms of?
I think that's going to be a problem for
Yeah.
him. I think if Russell could have had a better team, maybe, but I don't know about that. But they could start winning. You never know.
Yeah. With
But-
Penner having the hidden idol, and you're a big, proponent of the idol, how do you think that's going to change his game in terms of his ability? Penner having the hidden idol this episode, how do you think that'll impact
Who?
his game? Jonathan
Oh,
Penner.
okay. Jonathan. It depends on how. It's a huge, huge thing, man. Huge. But you have to be able to know how to play that thing. The good thing about me is I didn't just find them. I knew how to play them.
Mm-hmm.
And I was scared away tomorrow. Can help me for this game. Like I told Rob one season.
Did we lose Russell?
Nobody has
There's-
the balls to do what I do with an idol.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Because you have to know how to play it. That's how I go for it.
Yeah.
I gave my idol to Parvati
Mm-hmm.
to get her further in the game because guess what? I knew she was good enough to get me further in the game as well. So I saved her to save me.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if they want to save themselves. And when they do that, what happens is they either play it to save themselves and then all of a sudden they didn't even vote for them, so they just lost an idol, or they play it and then they save themselves and they're gone next time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So true. The idols. It's
Idols are the most dangerous thing in the world for 99% of the people that find them, unless you're Russell Hantz. And they get scared when I don't even have an idol, dude. I just, like season 3, I didn't even have an idol.
Yeah.
But they all thought I did. They split the votes. They split the votes. They put the idol in their pocket. Oh, Ralph. That Ralph. Split the vote. I think all I had to do was get one person to switch. That's
Well-
how scared they are of me.
well,
No.
Russell. I have to say, just
You have that respect in this.
as a good friend of Natalie White's, how many times did you win Survivor? I'm just saying, Russell. I'm just
Give
saying.
it twice.
Jeez, throwing it down.
No, Russell knows I love him.
I won fan favorite twice.
You did, and you're definitely one of our favorites.
Hey, Russell, I have a question for you. I know I asked you this on the red carpet this weekend, but what is it about the sort of legacy that you started with the Hantz name? And we have Sean is on your show Flipping Off, which is on A&E. You have your nephew, which was on Survivor. And then you had Willie, who was just on Big Brother, shenanigans headbutting people. Like, what? Who's the next who's the next Hantz on TV? And what is with your legacy that you've started?
They just, what they try to do? It got so crazy with me with CBS that they thought they could. Oh, if he did this, then we can find one of his family members, and the last name is Hantz, and maybe they could bring it up. 3 million viewers.
Right.
So let's see if we can do this again. And that's what happened. It's all about money.
Oh, of course.
It's all about ratings, dude. It's all about ratings, and the Hantz name is ratings.
Yeah.
And that's what they want.
Well, when is the gay Hantz going to be shown? We need a gay Hantz to make a television.
We have a gay Hantz.
Oh yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Do I know him?
If he's a gay black Hantz.
Okay, I need to meet him then.
we got all kinds of stuff in our family.
Wow.
I'm ready for that spin-off.
I thought you were talking about Brandon for a second.
You're gonna like him.
Oh, I'm sure I'll meet
It
him.
was Brandon.
So
I thought it was Brandon too.
So Russell, where can fans find you next? What do you got going on?
Right now,
What's happening with Flipping Off?
I can't really say what's going on.
Oh, you got
He's
secrets.
got some
But
stuff
I
going on.
plan on. I got some phone calls, and you ain't seen the last of me yet. That's for sure.
Of
Because
course.
I think that people are tired of. I never, I was never, you know me, man. I don't headbutt people.
Right.
I mean, if I have to, I will. But why you do that? Why? I mean, you have to have enough wisdom to walk away from that and calm the fuck down.
Right.
Yeah.
I will say that
it was a little too much.
I will say that for all of our fans watching and listening right now. I had my opinions of you, and until I met you, I was just I love to hate you, and you're probably one of the nicest guys I've actually met from reality. Literally one of the nicest guys ever. You definitely play a character on Survivor though, and you do it well. But I want to thank you. I want to thank you so much for calling in, buddy. Hope to see you. Hope to see you soon. Get to sleep. I know you're out there on the East Coast or down south.
Oh, no problem, man.
Yeah, but we really appreciate it. All right.
All right, you guys have a good night.
Take care.
All right, bye, babe.
Thanks, Russell.
Bye, bud.
I do kind of love Russell.
He's awesome.
Was he drunk?
Well, is he awake?
In all the reunion specials, he probably, when you watch after every season, and he was in the crowd in the reunion specials, it was like, is Russell drunk?
He's completely wasted. Let me just tell you about the
we were
last.
drinking with him.
Let me
last
tell you
time.
real quick. So like the last finale, we went all together, and he was so wasted.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're about to be on TV in 2 seconds, and like he's just like out of his mind
Oh
drunk.
gosh.
That was the.
He likes to have a good
He
time.
can get away with it.
He likes
He's
to have a good
Russell.
time.
He's Russell.
That was the finale when he and his nephew kind of got into
Yeah.
it.
Yep.
Which a lot of people from the fan side wondered if it was staged and everything. And that's
No comment. Moving on. we had too many good relationships with Survivors and with CBS.
Yes.
So let's get back to relationships on Survivor, the
Yes.
actual episode tonight, though. So yeah, there's a lot of relationships forming, and that it can prove to be a really good thing. Look at Rob and Amber. It got them both at the end. It's happened more than once.
2 seasons ago, there was a little showmance too with what was the cute guy with the blonde girl? They're country singers.
Oh, that wasn't. But on the show,
Yeah.
it was
very
after
subtle.
the show and
Yeah.
the tabloids and all that sort of
It's
stuff.
very subtle.
We
Like,
can't remember their names.
She left her husband or boyfriend for him.
Well, yeah.
Whatever.
Kind of say I love Amir over in the box. Amir, I love you. Thank you for that note.
I mean,
Apparently, Amir would like us to talk about iTunes. Hey, guys, we just want to thank you guys for tuning in, for listening to our podcast on iTunes. If you guys are fans, please rate, give us 5 stars. We'd really appreciate it. Tell your friends about us. We get so many listeners on iTunes. We really do appreciate it. And it's also a great way for you guys to get in touch with us and let us know what you like about the show, who you want to see on our show. Leave comments. We will comment back. We actually do read them, and we do actually take the notes to keep us doing what we're doing. Your comments are very, very much appreciated. Also, if you guys have gotten the new iPhone 5 or the iPhone 4, there is an app now out by Apple called Podcasts with an S, where you can have all of your AfterBuzz podcasts automatically downloaded to your phone whenever they air. So if you guys are fans of multiple shows here at AfterBuzz and you don't want to take the time to go and download them each individually, you can have it set up so they automatically go to your phone. So you can follow.
They're listening. We went up. We were 1.5 stars when we started because we took over another show. We're all the way up to 3.5 now. We've had tons of good comments, and we were actually number 2 this week on the AfterBuzz. Yeah, we're making a comeback, people.
We're bringing it back. Actually, oddly enough, the guy who was the host of the AfterBuzz Survivor show last year, Rob Z, from one of the earlier seasons, I can't remember exactly which one he was on. I ran into him Saturday night, and he would like to come in as a guest at some point. I said absolutely
he's
not.
bad for ratings.
You got 1.5 stars, so nope.
Bad for ratings.
Not happening. Just kidding. No.
You brought a skateboard for your luxury item. You're out of here.
On an island.
One of the relationships that I think we need to talk about is RC and Abby. They formed that alliance in the premiere last week. And the Yellow Tribe. We don't see anything on the Red Tribe. The only thing we see is Penner.
They don't exist.
They don't exist. I can't tell you their names right now because we never see them. But RC and Abby formed that girl alliance right away at the beach, and they're the best girlfriends. And they brought in the 2 boys. And then this week we see them kind of have a mini meltdown because RC is talking to Mike Skupin, and Abby thinks that she's forming side deals and she's getting paranoid and that sort of thing. Those 2 girls are, I think, volatile together.
Yeah, they're really lucky they're on the tribe they're on.
Yeah.
And that they're not on different tribes or haven't lost yet, because they're both crazy girls I would get rid of quickly. They're trying to make bold moves way too fast. And the way that Abby went after RC, I was like, Abby, just calm down. You're being paranoid. It's day 7 or 8 at that time. Just relax a little bit. And RC is just trying to make so many moves all the time.
Let me tell you a funny story about Abby. Side note. I met her at Sir Lisa Vanderpup's club like a couple weeks ago, and she must have. I thought she didn't have an accent. I didn't realize till I saw the show. I'm like, what? She was so drunk that I didn't realize that she had an accent.
Or you were so drunk.
Jeez.
This is true. This is true. No, I didn't have a drink, but like she was just like speaking in tongues.
Well, she went off on RC. Well, I love that you
Speaking
say,
of tongues.
Speaking in tongues, let's
Yeah.
talk about that for a minute because that's a perfect segue. Roxy is not having. She's not enjoying the situation. All these. I like when we get to know the characters because we see Lisa Whelchel. We see her kind
Is
of
it
like
Whelchel?
Whelchel.
Oh.
Blair. We see her kind of separating herself from the tribe for a while because she just feels like a loner. And you know that Scoopin really wants to help her out, but he's kind of in a position where there's a lot of young people on his tribe who don't really relate to her. They don't even know who she is. And it kind of breaks my heart because she's kind of off doing her own thing. She says she's had anxiety before about this growing up. And as an actress, it allows her to be a character, kind of like her Sasha Fierce, I guess, for all you Beyonce fans out there.
I mean,
well, I'm not gay at all. But no, I think that that's understandable. A lot of actors would say the same thing.
Right.
Or comedians.
They say it all the time.
They hide behind a character. But then you go over to somebody like Roxy, who's also having a struggle, and as opposed to separating herself from her tribe, she just kind of aligns herself with God because apparently God
cares
watching
about what's
Survivor.
going on in Survivor.
He has a vested interest in Roxy's Survivor game, and she's ready to throw in the towel while it's raining, and doesn't understand why God has forsaken her. And then she prays, and the sun comes out, and that's because of God. Not that God doesn't make the sun come out, because he absolutely does. However, I don't believe that God's really concerned with Roxy's game on Survivor.
Well, her comment was really, really weird. She said, coming here as a Christian woman and someone who's studying in the faith or whatever she was saying, she's like, and then, just this rain is just too much. Like, it just was like, what are you even talking about?
That
And
doesn't make any sense.
She's not sleeping at night. She's very like spying to see what's going on. She's very, very paranoid. I understand the game is you're paranoid in general, but I mean, nothing scares me more than someone speaking in tongues.
Yeah, and as the sun comes out, her prayer turns into her speaking in tongue. And I'm just like, okay, I'm religious. I pray. I'm not overly religious, but I pray and I have faith. And
I own like a prayer.
Sure, absolutely. A little Madonna reference, but like the whole speaking in tongues thing, a little creepy.
And I also think too, in terms of obviously she was bringing that Christian plot line that every season has to have someone who's bringing the religion.
Especially the last few seasons.
But what I loved was that finally you have a character on the show, Denise, saying, oh my gosh, come on, God has no investment in this game. Whereas in the past, everyone's like, yes,
prayer
coach,
circles.
We'll go with coach and prayer circles and everything.
And if you weren't, you were an outsider.
I don't think I've ever seen someone on the show actually call out someone saying like, religion is not an important part of this game. And I love Denise for doing that.
I actually wrote it down because she's the sex therapist on the show. So she's obviously probably a little more liberal and a little more out there, which I can kind of relate to, obviously, gay dude living in LA. However, I love this quote. She says, I don't pray for anything. Anything that keeps me in the game is because of me. And it's just silly to me because like, I understand like we all pray for things. We all are thankful for things and whatever. And I get that. But I'm a firm believer that God really doesn't care who wins Survivor. Like, why would he?
Well, let's just point this out. I'm sure you can relate. I am not a person who prays, period. But, on Expedition, when you have those moments, I would step away and have like, maybe it's a spiritual moment or whatever it was, but I kept it personal because the last thing you want to do is isolate yourself and be weird in front of other people. And like, if you want to speak in tongues, like go down the lane and like speak to a tree. Like, don't make it so public because so many people have so many different faiths and beliefs. All it does is it separates people.
Exactly.
But another thing is you look at Natalie White on Russell's season, she had religion as a bonding thing through Brett and all these other people that got her to the end. So in terms of Survivor, religion could play a good role, could play a bad role.
You can play that card when you need to play the card.
And also, it's sad to say, but the sad truth is you have to look at a pretty blonde pageant winner using religion, and then the token black girl on the show who's already trying to stir up the pot by calling out people for their romances and things like that, speaking in tongue. That's a very different thing. Those are two different takes on religion, and you have to be scared and it's whether it's fair or not. Roxy has to be aware of that. She's the black girl on the show. There's only one every season, maybe two. You know what I mean? And it's sad but true. There's always 5 blonde bitches that are pretty and get far in the show because of nothing other than their looks. And we saw how that played out later tonight. I thought that Roxy should have stayed. She made a very strong argument, and I thought she was,
she was very well spoken.
Yeah, a stronger player out of the. And Angie's still sticking around. But we don't want to get ahead of ourselves.
Do we? One thing about Lisa, we kind of touched upon it a little bit. My heart broke for her this episode.
I was gonna say someone else's heart broke this week.
My heart broke because
Justin was screaming at the TV, hands in the air. I'd be on your tribe. I'd be on your tribe.
Here's the thing. I went into this being like, oh, this Faxalite person. I have no idea who she is. Like, come on, celebrities. This is not Dancing with the Stars, whatever. It's Survivor, and she probably wouldn't get on Dancing with the Stars, but
she will. She'll be on there probably next season.
But in any case, I went in kind of like, oh, but I have a soft spot for the older women on these shows. And from season Marquesas, Kathy had the same plot line where it was the older woman couldn't relate to a younger tribe. She's on a tribe with people that's tough to relate to. You know, who knows what they're actually talking about, you know, and that sort of thing. And when she went off on her own, my heart broke for her.
I mean, tears were streaming down her face.
I mean, Lisa, if I were on your tribe, I would make an alliance with you. That's all I got to say.
And he'd be out in the next week.
But what I hope is coming forward is that she will be able to pick it back together. We did see a preview for next week where, would you be willing to vote off Mike? I'll do whatever I got to do. I think it's probably a red herring, and, you know, Lisa may be in trouble.
I think you're completely full of it, and this is why. You know, one thing also we didn't discuss is this. His pick for his fantasy Survivor. So he loves Lisa. He loves Lisa so much.
Yeah. But he did. Okay, let's just be clear, you guys. Week one, we all did our fantasy Survivor list and everything, and we all got to pick 4 people, and we had 2 floaters out there that we could pick up whenever you start to lose your players until all players were taken. Well, he's got both floaters now on his team. No, 1 so far.
Well,
just one so
I'm
far.
going to have Lisa now.
Now you have Lisa now. So now you do have
So I lost Zane, and then I picked Roxy over Lisa. So I lost
Why'd you pick Roxy over Lisa?
You
love Lisa so much.
And I did say, if I'm going with my heart, I would pick Lisa, but I was going with my mind, trying to pick strategically.
So you have a bad mind
and
a good heart.
I have a bad mind, and as a fan, I am losing right now. And all I have to say is it's probably because in my other pool with my friends that I do.
Oh my God.
And what?
I have a better team.
I'm putting a check by his name. Justin gets a check by his name. He has a pool at home.
And I'm
with
sorry,
my friends.
It's Survivor. In what world is it smart to pick the sassy black girl to ever make it to the end? It doesn't happen very often unless you're Sari or Taj or one of those that really know how
Sabrina.
Yeah, but they're a little bit older.
Yeah,
the young, like skinny, pretty black girls never make it far. So. You have to be a little bit more advanced in age and have some curves to you and like be able to like maneuver into the game because
you got to lay low in the beginning.
We all know what happened to Nyanka. And Stacy and Semhar and who else?
I do think
they're all terrible.
Just the general comment of laying low in the beginning. I think it's tougher to lay low when you only have 5 other people on your tribe.
Yeah.
I think that's the issue we're seeing right now, and then probably in the next week or 2 we're gonna see them merge.
But watching each team though, there's a few that stand out as being.
Can we call them tribes instead of teams? Perhaps they are tribes. You know,
I call them
season
teams.
25.
Thank you.
Tribes.
Okay, really? What were you? What were you saying? Evicted earlier?
Yeah, I said the eviction ceremony.
Brother.
The eviction ceremony.
Too much.
I mean, so you're getting a check by your name too, AJ.
It's not. It's all.
You're a mess.
Yeah.
2 checks.
No, but it is really hard to fly under the radar unless you're on the red tribe, which is what I don't know what they're called.
Who's on that tribe?
Yeah, what are they called? Calabao? I mean, they're just we don't see them the entire episode.
It's so funny because I talked to Carter. He's on the red team, and he was so upset that they didn't show him
tribe
at all.
Nothing.
Check by Ryan's name. 2 checks.
I've given myself 2 checks. No, but he was upset. He was so like, you know, you talk about it, like I'm on Survivor. I live in Kansas, blah, blah blah. So they didn't even show him at all. They showed him like his red underwear, and then this time they didn't show him. Nothing. Period.
And the brunette with the blue eyes. I don't even know her name. I mean,
no, she's on my team. I think. She's on my team.
The only person we saw was Penner because this week what happened? Penner found the hidden immunity idol, and that's the only thing they've shown is Penner's storyline of how they want to get Penner out. They're going to rally against Penner.
Right.
He finds the idol, and that's probably going to give him play in the game in terms of making.
And what's funny,
alliances.
the red tribe has won the 2 challenges, so they're actually a good team.
No, they didn't. They got
Didn't
second.
they win?
They got
I thought they
second this
won.
week. They
no,
did.
because
They won.
I actually am excited to talk about that.
attention.
We're not quite there yet, but I actually do want to talk about that challenge in just a moment. I'm really excited about this one. But first, I think we need to talk about the immunity idol. I mean, it's a rainy episode again, which I kind of love. You're not really a big fan of, but I kind of love like the miserable seasons where it's just rain all season.
No.
So in this episode, there's an idol found in the last episode already.
No, just the clue.
Just the clue. Are you sure?
Russell Swan did not find an idol, unless I watched a different episode.
No, I know he didn't, but I thought someone else found it.
Really? I think we may have watched different episodes. There was no idol found in last episode.
Maybe I'm still watching Big Brother. So in this episode, though, Penner's tribe.
I wish I were watching Big Brother and Dan. Sorry.
Right. Penner's tribe decides it's too rainy. They want to go to the cave. Which, first of all, why didn't they just build their campsite in the cave?
Right.
Save some time.
Since when is there just a random cave?
It's happened before. I've seen it on past seasons. But his tribe's all too worried about staying comfortable. They decide to go to the cave, and he's like, "Thank God, because I didn't know how I was going to look for this idol. I know he has the clue. He just doesn't have the idol.
Right.
So they're all doing their thing, and he's digging. He's like climbing under their
Because the clue says it's right under their nose.
under your nose. Yes. So as he's like under their campsite, literally, one of the other girls, some other forgettable girl,
Denise. No, not Denise. Sorry.
No, it wasn't Denise.
It was the blonde
Wrong
with
tribe.
the tattoos. Sorry.
Yes. Walks back, and she's like, "Oh, what are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, I lost my lens on my contact." And
my glasses.
And I'm looking for my glasses. First of all, contact lenses on Survivor? Like, where does he have his Bausch and Lomb? Like,
I wore contacts on Expedition. Remember, I got the kind that lasted for a month, so I never took them out.
They have contacts. But
Well,
they bought it. And clearly, come on. If
They're
you're on
dumb.
Survivor, someone's under your shelter digging. They're looking for the idol.
oh, my eyeglasses slipped. But they believed him.
Right.
I think again, like we have our opinions about how they cast certain seasons. Like when they brought back Rob and Russell, we felt like they kind of cast that season to give Rob the best chance of possible. I think they kind of cast the season the same way. They really want one of these returning guys to have this big story and hopefully get them big ratings. And
Because imagine if they all get voted off right away, it'd be like, well, what was the point of that?
Yeah.
I mean,
So
there's no point of them even being on
some
the
of
show.
these cast members are pretty passive.
Well, I also think, too, though, in general, on these reality shows with bringing back past members like we saw in Big Brother as well, is they bring a different level of strategy, a different level of game, and typically they are going to go further because they're coming in the game full throttle, where these newbies are coming in kind of like,
Yeah.
let's just have them low-key time.
In a normal season, you can kind of have like a week or two to kind of like ease your way into the game. Not with when they bring back these veterans, it doesn't happen that way.
Right.
And for me, I would think that would elevate my game. But for these cast members, these survivors, these castaways, not really.
It's because they generally cast people that are from like a small town or somewhere that are not in television. They hardly ever cast actors, hosts, any of those sort of people. So like they've never been on camera.
But
like, it's all they think they know how the game is played. But they really, really don't until they get there.
But last week, Natalie and Christina both said the worst thing you could ever say when you're trying to get cast on the show is to say, "I'd be happy making it to like the jury." They only cast people who all believe they can win it, and I haven't seen it yet. Like most of these people don't look like they even have.
But don't you think a lot of these people are delusional that say that?
That is true.
I'm telling you, the guy that got voted off last week, I'm sure he said, "Yeah, I'm gonna win this game," and like they're like, "Really, you're not gonna get past your false teeth."
And that is interesting because I think that my level of confidence in certain situations, such as if I were on Survivor, is disproportionate to most people's. Because I believe that if I got on Survivor, I believe I'd win it.
I know I would win.
Well,
Just
yeah,
putting it
and
out
I'm sure
there.
you do. And I honestly, genuinely believe I would win it. And Ryan would get second if he was on my season. but
He'd ride your coattails.
yeah, but
Please.
I honestly believe I don't see a scenario where I
agree.
wouldn't win it. I
Same
just
with me.
have that sort of confidence. I feel like most of these people go out there and they're just like, "Oh, I didn't know it was going to rain."
I 100% agree.
You didn't know it was going to rain?
Yeah.
What?
Right.
And it makes TV, makes TV moments.
But it's so funny, even us though, we were completely prepared to go on our show, but we never thought about sand dunes. Like we never even crossed our mind knowing we're going to Morocco. I mean, like certain things like that even slip your mind, and we really, really plan it out. We're really huge reality fans. So these other people who may not have been like the biggest fans, like really have no clue.
But in all fairness, we were on season 1 of a show. They're on season 25.
We would have been the same on any show, but I think that we're not like normal people.
Yeah. We are the next step in the evolutionary chain.
Quick question
We
for
are.
you guys. Do you think with the idol now that's going to give Penner the advantage to strategically stay in the game? Because it looks like he's on the outs. I personally think that now he's going to be in a good position in the game, and I think he'll target maybe Kent, in terms of...
Well, we'll see. And
see.
I think we should talk about that one later on when we get to predictions, though, because I do have some predictions that actually are similar to that from another tribe, and maybe we can each just take a tribe and talk about what we think is going to happen. I'm calling the blue tribe right now. The shitty tribe. No, but the idols do play, like Russell just said, they play a key role in this game, and and they've evolved over the seasons.
But people have gone home with an idol in their hand before.
Which is, I would have to say, got to be the worst feeling ever.
Which I'm not sure if Mike knows that he's on the outs from the tribe. So, I mean, like that. I don't know if he'd even contemplate that they would vote him off first.
I would never, ever. If I thought there was even a slight chance, I'd play that idol.
Yeah.
Whatever. I would never get voted out. I'd win 9-0.
If I were playing
We're about
against
to
you.
we're about to vote you out right now.
Yeah,
Oh.
Alliance.
Christina's already gone. We voted her out, guys. She's out of here.
Happy birthday.
Anyone who sits on that side is out.
Well, she made top 4, just like she did on her season. Oh, happy birthday, Christina.
Jeez.
So let's move on to the
That was a good one. Let's do a
that
little
was-
cheers for
Cheers.
that.
Happy
Cheers.
birthday.
Wait, so I'm Kim. You guys have to fight over who's Chelsea. So let's move on to the
I'm Chelsea. I'm
the
cuter.
immunity. Pipe down, Carrillo. Let's move on to the immunity challenge and also the reward challenge, because so far they're still one and the same. Jeff Probst announces that whoever wins this challenge is going to get obviously blankets, pillows, and a tarp, which is pretty standard. The second place,
Which a tarp you really need right now.
yeah, and the second place tribe will just get a tarp, which is fine. Like, who really wants a pillow anyways? The second it gets wet or a blanket, like, this is gross.
Right.
Whatever.
So they go into this challenge, and here's how it plays out. They have to pair up in groups of 2 within the tribe. Only 5 people are competing, and one pair has to go twice, right? They have to drag these sleds through the sand out to these puzzle pieces, load the puzzle pieces onto the sleds, and then drag them back. We didn't understand quite why certain people picked. Now that I think about it, I think it had to be boy-girl duos.
No, there were every other team but Blue did guys. They did,
Really?
but the Blue tribe had Russell and Angie go twice.
Let's call them Matsing.
Yeah, I'll just call them by the
yet.
colors.
Yeah.
The Blue tribe had Russell and Angie go twice, and Malcolm did not go twice. When Malcolm did go with Roxy, he basically pulled that sled by himself.
Yeah.
And the other team had the guys going in together.
And let's talk about the strategy going into this for that tribe, especially because that was obviously the tribe that's kind of falling apart quickly. I love how Roxy, they were kind of going back and forth between Roxy and Angie to decide who would go twice. And Angie's like, I don't really feel comfortable doing it. And then Roxy's like, well, I haven't had that much water. I'm like, okay, so who has had a lot of water? Russell's on your team, and he was evacuated from his season because he was dehydrated. Nobody has a lot of water.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just so silly to me.
But it
like,
hasn't stopped raining. Just
Open your mouth.
Get something and get it, like a rock or like a
Yes.
coconut, or I don't really get it. It's
or one
pouring.
of one of the plastic like Evian water bottles that they give you that you hide inside the little mesh and make it look like it's all tribal.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
There's water.
Yes, just drink it, girl.
Right.
So that was weird.
That was a really weird answer.
Yes, and they got behind pretty quickly. They get through to the actual puzzle part of the challenge, and the yellow tribe, Tandang,
It's the yellow
Tandu.
tribe.
okay, Tandong, they do really well. Lisa Whelchel is their caller, and she's letting them know where to put
Lisa.
and she kept it cool.
Amazing.
I thought she was incredible.
I was proud
She
of her.
was.
Yeah, and
she
it
was
was-
very, she spoke very clearly, slowly. She wasn't, freaking out.
She wasn't irrational at all. She was very articulate, and I love that.
She was a rational puzzle player.
Irrational.
No, I know.
She was rational, and I love how they kind of built her story arc this episode, which makes me nervous that she's going home next episode. But whatever.
Yeah.
But I like how they kind of really showed you her struggle, and then kind of at the end her triumph, and she led her team to victory, her tribe to victory. God, check AJ.
AJ's getting a check.
But really, the puzzle callers, that was a stupid role in the challenge.
It was kind of, but you saw how bad the other two were, though.
Yeah,
and
but
it made her
really,
look kind of good.
I wouldn't say I loved what Lisa did, and I thought she did a great job. But I don't think they solved that puzzle because she was saying, "Put that one there, put that one." They were doing the puzzle. When you're
Right.
doing a puzzle like that, you don't really need
And
someone
how
calling
the
you.
puzzle was sort of set up, it looks like it was more based on the shapes than what it really looked like.
But I think if you really think about this challenge, which is the case with a lot of these challenges where there's a caller involved, I don't think that the benefit of having a good caller really helps you. I think the benefit comes when you don't have a bad caller.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times other tribes get so flustered because they have a bad caller yelling and screaming,
Yeah.
whether it's... Lisa might not have helped them win, but she didn't help them lose,
True, right.
which is equally as important,
That's
I think.
very
Does that make
good point.
sense?
Yeah, it makes
Right.
Because a lot of times these people are just yelling.
And you're just
yelling
like, shut up,
Yeah.
Willy-nilly.
let us do the puzzle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And she just kept it cool. So it's almost like she was just white noise they could drown out, maybe.
Right.
Yeah?
White noise.
Way to go,
Yay,
Lisa.
Lisa.
Way to go, Blair.
Yeah.
Her hair's phenomenal. She has great hair. I don't know how. So we see the yellow tribe, Tandang, comes in first, followed by the Calabao tribe, the red tribe, also known as the Unknowns.
Which they were in third, and then they came back because
They did.
Blue screwed up.
They made quite a comeback, and
Aye,
Blue
aye, aye.
found a way to lose again.
Again.
They're terrible.
Wah,
They're pretty
wah,
bad.
They're bad.
It's because they had such a bad start.
Yeah.
You can never catch
They
up.
have a lot of weak players.
Yes, they sure do. And we think they would get rid of the weakest ones on this episode, but they don't.
Malcolm should have been the first runner because they actually made up a lot of time when he did the second half.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about them a little bit because they obviously go to tribal council again. They're the only tribe so far that's experienced tribal council, and this tribal council was just full of buffoons. Well, immediately after the challenge, I like to call us out as I rip my headset off. I love how Russell Swan kind of gets crazy on his tribe.
Yeah.
He's like, listen, you guys, get your heads out of your asses. Let's get in the game
Yeah.
because you guys, we're going to keep losing. You know, and sometimes that can be a bad thing to be like that. But I think at this point in the game, it's a good thing. And it made him last week we were afraid he could go home. This week I was like, there's no way on earth he's going home and heading into this tribal council because they don't want to lose him.
Yeah. Right.
They can't like have 4 or 3 girls on the team and Malcolm.
Yeah.
When do you say that? Go ahead.
It showed the difference between passion to be there. Those girls could care less. They're not doing anything. Whereas, yes, you want to get Russell out because he's a returning player, clearly. But when you compare him to those 2 girls, you can't vote him off before those girls.
No way.
In my opinion, their whole team looked defeated before they even started the challenge, and like it's very, very obvious. So like by Russell having that sort of speech, he sort of brought them together, even though he was sort of, it is like you said, iffy to come out like that. But basically, without him, they are lost.
Yeah, and I don't think that he came across like he was trying to be too pushy like he does sometimes.
Correct.
I liked that. I thought it was kind of motivational. And he's got Malcolm on a squad who's a guy who doesn't like losing, I'm sure. And then also Denise. She's tough.
She's great.
She's tough. I've got some predictions about her later, but
her.
she's fantastic. And she's like, look, she's a logical woman. She's like, he's right. We need to get our heads out of our asses because we're gonna get swept away, and it's gonna be a 2-tribe show real quick.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. So let's just actually talk about this
tribal
council.
It's also weird seeing so little people in the tribal council so early.
Yeah, you feel like they're going into the finale.
What is going on here?
Yeah.
And it's week 2.
The best was Jeff's question to Angie. So Angie, what would you change about your tribe?
Yeah, she says.
What does she say?
She wants cookies.
Cookies.
What would make your tribe stronger?
Amazing moment for television, but are you kidding me?
And let's sidebar. Hey, for any of you guys who haven't watched it, here's a spoiler alert. She doesn't get voted out. Like what?
And Malcolm defends her answer.
Yes.
That I can understand. These girls are hungry.
It just doesn't even make sense.
Which shows me he has 0 strategy.
Oh
None.
my gosh.
None.
Well, actually, here's the thing. He knew she wasn't going home. He knew that Roxy was going home. He knew that all the votes were for Roxy. So why not give her a little defend?
But if you're a fan of the show, which he definitely should have watched a few seasons before, everybody knows that what you say during Tribal Council definitely has a huge impact. And like leaving that, you're like, what the hell did he just say? Like this guy cannot be kept around, or we'll keep around because he'll just be like,
Because he looks perfect. Don't be blinded by the headlights. He's blinded by the headlights right now. It's a perfect title because that will start to sink into the other tribe members' heads. Yeah. And when there's a merge later on, or the tribes get switched up, whichever happens first, people are going to be aware of that.
Right.
If he and Angie are all like attached at the hip, people are going to see that.
And there's literally nothing you can do about it now.
Yeah. It's there.
We won't go into predictions on you're doing the blue tribe.
Yeah, they need to do a fake fight or something.
Right. Or he needs to say he's gay.
Dan did it to
needs to
Danielle.
say he's gay.
I think he would cut her next, honestly. I think that he would team up with Russell and Denise over her. Just saying it.
Well, she's terrible.
Yeah, she sucks.
I mean,
the
cookie comment
games.
is as good as Kat when saying she loves blindsides, and then she gets
that was
blindsided
amazing.
that episode. That was amazing from One
That
World.
was amazing.
There have been some really dumb people to play this game.
Bless them.
We wouldn't be dumb, would we?
No, Kat's actually really like smart and charming in person.
Yeah, the game changes people though. It's so weird to like see people on the show and then see them in real life. Like sometimes they're exactly what you expect them to be.
Right.
But sometimes they're not at all.
Completely different.
like Russell earlier.
Right.
Same thing. Like I thought.
Or
he
like
was
you, complete douche on TV.
dick on TV. I'm a really nice guy. Like really nice.
No, he's a douche in here in the studio as well.
I am.
What's the name of our tribe called?
I'm so sorry.
Since we're going to be evicting him, since he's going home next.
You're voting me out next.
I know. I'm sorry. These shows get so much.
And then you guys are gonna have to walk around with the torches of the fallen survivors.
What do you guys? What do you
put out
think
your
of?
cup.
What do you think of Russell Swan voting for Roxy? He just went with the majority, right?
Yeah, I think that he was just trying to appease everyone.
What are you gonna do?
He probably knew that Denise was going to vote for.
She told him probably.
I guarantee you that speaking in tongues and how aggressive she is was the reason why she went home. And he was like, she does need to go.
And especially earlier on the season like this, and we see it with Scoop in relation to Lisa Whelchel also, you kind of, it's not such a cutthroat thing earlier in the season. You're kind of like, look, you got to help me help you. And Roxy wasn't doing herself any favors. She was saying things that were all valid, and it's got to drive her nuts that the hot little blonde girl with the big boobs is still in the show, when by all, for all intents and purposes, Roxy should still be there.
Yeah.
But that's not how the game's played.
Cookies.
I mean, what a dumb. How can that be your comment and you still make it another week or another
See how far she goes. And guess
council.
It's because
guess whose fantasy team she's on?
Shocking.
Mine.
Now
It's because she's not going to. People generally don't change their mind on their vote when they go in because then it's too much.
Yeah,
Once
you
you're
can't.
in there, it's ahead of time.
Yeah.
yeah. because they're too afraid. People are scared. Most players play the game of Survivor scared shitless.
Right.
They don't want to stir the pot, ruffle any feathers.
Well, it's also because there's no communicating at that point. So even if you're like, oh no, we need to get her out now, it's like you can't communicate like we're gonna.
Yeah, you don't change it.
You can't do it. As soon as you leave, you're like, oh, she's got to go next. That's sort of the game.
Maybe next
game
week.
Plan.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right. Well, I think it's actually. I'm really excited to talk about. Do you guys have any news gossip at all?
We're gonna talk about Vegas Bash. It's all of our stuff's online.
Okay, go ahead, Ryan. Why don't
All
you
right.
promote that?
AfterBuzz TV News.
Well, I was in Las Vegas this weekend for the Vegas Bash 2012. And it's basically 100 different reality stars from Big Brother, Survivor, Amazing Race. I'm not even going to say Glass House, Expedition Impossible. And AfterBuzz was there doing interviews exclusively. And so you can check them out on the AfterBuzz TV website. You can also check it out on Twitter for AfterBuzz. And we have on the red carpet interviews with people. We have lots of
They're really
news
fun
and
interviews.
gossip that's going on. Yeah, it's completely ridiculous because all these people, all they do is drink 24/7. Including myself. And it was fun to interact with everybody and see everybody. Russell was completely ridiculous, as usual. So funny. It was fun.
I wasn't there this year. I missed it. I was here earning a living.
Earning a living.
And I haven't gotten on a reality TV show yet to be there, guys.
You will.
Well, I was there representing
One
the
day.
group. Christina Cha was there.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. it
You
was
guys
fun.
did a great job, by the way.
Oh, thank
did a
you.
great job.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think it's time we get right into predictions.
Let's do it.
I'm going to start off predictions tonight. I think tonight we should just
your AfterBuzz TV.
let this guy talk for a while. Creepy dude. All right. I think that tonight we should all just take a tribe and talk about them. So I'm going to go ahead and take the blue tribe, just because it's the only tribe.
I'm going to get the red team. I'm not going to have anything to say. But
not
go
a
ahead.
thing in the
You
world.
could take yellow, I can take red.
I don't even know who's on the yellow team.
right.
Go ahead.
Well, it's a tribe.
No, I know.
Check. Ryan,
getting
call the team. No, the blue tribe. What is their name again? Matsing?
It doesn't matter.
Matsing? I think that what could really be interesting because they are struggling right now, and I don't see it getting any better for them anytime soon. I'm going to call it. I'm going to say that they're going to lose the next couple of tribal councils, and I think that Russell and Denise will hang around. I think that if both or even one of them hang around, they're perfect swing votes. They're tough competitors. They're reliable. When it goes into a merge or new tribes or whatever happens next, they could be perfect swing votes. So if I'm on there, it's kind of like what happened to Russell Hantz, whatever season he was on so many, but where his tribe keeps going and going and going.
Right.
It could turn into a good thing in the end. You could hang around a little bit longer because who cares if your tribe's going? You become a very crucial swing vote then. Either Denise or Russell could become the Ohio of Tribal Council of Survivor.
There you go.
There you go.
Or the Virginia.
Yes. No, let's say Ohio, my home state. What up, OH?
Yeah.
The Buckeye State.
Go Bucks.
Ryan, you can take red or yellow. I'll take the leftovers.
I'll take yellow. All
right, go.
But I don't have a huge prediction for them other than, RC is so vocal and over the top. I think that if there's going to be a vote, she's going to be the first one gone on their team for sure. Just because she's
On their tribe.
Wow.
God, why do I keep saying teams? Where's
Tribes.
teams coming from?
I don't
Tribes.
know. Team T, Team T.
I'm a teamster. So yeah, that's my prediction.
What do you think about Lisa Whelchel on the Yellow Tribe?
I think that she can hang in there a little bit longer because I think that I don't know, I want to root for her.
I do too.
I do too. Really do.
So
Plus,
Justin?
I just want to make her at least make it to jury because she's going to give some good
she's so
speeches.
cute.
Yeah, she would.
She's
And what do you think
adorable.
about Calabao?
The red tribe,
Yep.
which you only basically see Jonathan Penner and you see Jeff Kent. And I think that what's going to happen is Penner now with the Idol is going to basically start running that tribe. I think Penner is going to take control. He's going to form some alliances with people that we don't know their names yet because we haven't seen them once. And that we will finally learn their names once Penner makes an alliance with them. And then Penner is going to run the show with the Idol.
Well, I'm glad you brought up Penner because when we saw the previews for next week, Jeff Probst says, Penner, you're bleeding from the face. I just
that
can't wait
was
to see it.
scooping.
Or scooping.
That
Oh,
was
scoop.
done.
Oh, did I just ruin it right there?
He just can't not
It
get
was
hurt.
scooping.
He
He's the
cannot
one who's
get hurt.
accident prone.
He just gets hurt he'll hurt himself walking in the studio.
Penner doesn't get cut in the head because he wears a hat all the time. All right, whatever. Hey, you guys, where can our listeners and our viewers find you on Twitter?
I am at Ryan A. Carrillo, 2 R's and 2 L. Ryan Allen Carrillo on Facebook as well.
Justin F. Walter and Justin Walter on Facebook.
You need
you
to
guys-
tweet way more, PS.
I know, I need to learn how to tweet more.
You guys need to
He
calm
needs some
down.
friends. He needs some friends.
Help me out.
You guys can follow me on Twitter at _AJ Gibson. Check out my website, ajgibson.tv. We want to thank you guys for stopping by. We'll be back here next week with Christina Shaw's out again. She's going to China, but the three of us will be here, hopefully with another guest.
She's going to be with Eliza in China.
Eliza, who knew? I want to thank you guys for stopping by. Take care.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff. We would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.